All right, so I want to talk about something today, and you've heard about it. It's this UFC 250 that's happening this weekend at the White House, and it's just a complete disaster. If you haven't been following the news, there's nothing good happening here. They're framing it like it's a celebration of America for America's 250th anniversary, yet it's happening 3 weeks before the actual birthday, which is the 4th of July. Yeah, in case you didn't know. You know what day it is happening on? Trump's birthday, his 80th birthday. It happens to be this Sunday. When was the last time UFC held an event on Sunday? But they're doing it for this event. It's the first professional sports event ever held at the White House. Well, go figure. And you know what's crazy to me about it is that UFC is dedicated to spending $60 million on this thing, on the production alone. They're putting up this big giant claw. They're calling it a claw, which Trump thinks is so beautiful, sitting in front of the White House on the South Lawn. He might just keep it there forever.
I'm looking at it and maybe we'll never ever take it down.
Wouldn't that be great? They're selling tickets to this event, not to you, not to the general public. If you want a VIP ticket, it's $1 million, over $1 million for a ticket. And the actual on-site seats, they're not being sold. They're being handpicked by Trump, Dana White, and people at the UFC, basically. It's really just an embarrassment and an embarrassing cash grab. They're using our monuments as a backdrop for this to profit, and they're pretending like it's for us. So there was a lawsuit that was filed about a week ago by a group called the Public Integrity Project. They're framing this as a deeply corrupt event. They're arguing that they didn't get any of the required permits in order to put this claw up. They didn't follow the environmental review. They're claiming, as they should, it's not about America. It's a big giant birthday party for the president. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Dana's willing to spend $60 million on this event, yet he spent $20 million on the Sphere event and then said he would never do it again because the costs ballooned so out of control. It started at an $8 million budget and went up to over $20 million, which to him was insane. Now he's spending 3 times the amount of that on this event, and they're expected to lose $30 million after spending $60. Now, I've got a whole nother angle on that when it comes to fighter pay and how that $30 million would probably go a long way in someone's pocketbook that isn't Donald Trump or Dana White, but we'll save that for another video. Even Joe Rogan is against this fight. The guy who calls every single fight thinks it's a bad idea.
The White House thing is odd. I don't like it. I don't like the idea of fighting outside at all.
Well, there's problems with it.
And then
done it too many times.
June.
Yeah.
And it's DC, and we looked it up the last time, like last year, same day, it was 100 degrees.
Yeah.
He's called it a gimmick. He's wisely brought up the fact that on an outdoor event like this, there's going to be weather issues.
I just don't think that you should compete in a world championship fight in a non-controlled environment.
Yeah.
I think it should be inside an air-conditioned arena. It should be a controlled environment, just like you don't ask someone to do any of that. You wouldn't ask them to play a world championship basketball game outside in the sun. No. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
There's humidity. There's bugs.
How are they going to do anything about the bugs? Because I know that Dana was talking about that recently. They were talking about maybe using fans. Is that enough?
No, it's not enough.
Bug strips everywhere? What are you going to do? Like, how are you going to stop the bugs? There's a lot of bugs.
You can spray. That's pretty much all you can do.
Pesticide the shit
That's
out
good.
of the fucking
Pesticide.
land.
That's good for the fighters. That'll help with their breathing.
It's going to be hot. It's going to be a horrible place for these guys to go out and fight when they're actually risking their bodies, and they've got to deal with all of these other elements as well.
There's too many distractions. You got all the media. You got that whole week.
Yes.
Plus, it's outside.
He's right.
These are all things that your fighter is not used to doing. Why would I jeopardize his win streak, his second title? Why would I jeopardize
legacy.
all of that? Yeah, his legacy, everything, just so we can fight at the White House. You have to ask yourself as a fighter, though, is the spectacle worth my career?
Every other fight, UFC fight, indoors, big arena, air conditioning, controlled environment. This one, throw all that to the wind. Oh, and speaking of the wind, yeah, guess what? The weather on Sunday, not looking very great. supposed to rain all day, 90 degrees. That humidity is really going to be hitting those athletes when they come marching out to the cage that night. When the guy who's been calling your events for the last 25 years says it's a gimmick, you might want to listen. The fans feel the same way. Now, the craziest thing about all this, in my opinion, is the whole Sean Strickland angle. Sean Strickland, depending on who you ask, has been banned from the event. He says he's been banned. UFC says no one's been banned.
No, he's not banned. Listen, Sean Strickland, he's just not invited.
Dana White's all about free speech. He can't put a muzzle on his guys.
I don't give anybody a leash. A leash? Like free speech.
America's a free country. There's free speech, and, you know.
I'm a big believer in free speech.
Although he says Strickland is a nightmare.
Sean Strickland.
Yeah.
He's a nightmare. A nightmare.
Guess what? Strickland is a champion. He's one of the few American champions right now. And he was banned for what? Using his freedom of speech when talking about an event titled Freedom. How about that for irony? And because of that, guess what? He's not allowed to show up at the event that's all about celebrating our freedom and how great we are as America. If that doesn't bother you, I don't know what will. He says he was called personally by the higher-ups in the UFC to tell him that he was, according to the UFC, not invited.
Sean Strickland, he's just not invited.
He says he plans to show up anyway, and I hope he does, because he's bringing some real attention to this. You know, it's interesting, you can tie this back to the Roman times, because they hosted sporting events like the gladiator fights as a distraction from the corruption that was going on within their government. They also liked to build big, beautiful monuments to their greatness and to show their power and their opulence, when the reality is they were spending the money that could have been used on the people to improve the people's lives to build big, gaudy monuments to themselves. Does that sound familiar to anyone? So listen, I have some strong feelings about this, but really, to me, it just feels like a slap in the face to this 250th celebration. Inflation is up over 4.2%, and they think it's a good idea to have a couple guys punch each other in the face instead of focusing on the real problems, or instead of, I don't know, releasing the files. So if you're not pissed off, you should be. Start paying attention. This is getting ridiculous. If you're not upset, you need to be. You need to pay attention. I'm not watching this event. The card looks stacked. I'm gonna pass. Dana and his buddies can go have fun. I pray for the fighters that they don't get injured or eaten by mosquitoes while they're out there fighting. It looks like it's gonna rain. Dana doesn't care if it thunders and lightnings on them while they're fighting. He's moving forward that event. What's most important to him is the event goes on, not his fighters, not his athletes, not the guys that actually make his sport what it is. What do you guys think? Leave me a note in the comments. Are you gonna watch this thing? Also, side note, look at the lockdowns that had to happen at the Knicks game last week and all the security that had to be in place. But no, hey, it's a birthday party. Let's rock. Let's get some cake. Let's blow up some balloons. Let's have a good time with our favorite fighters. I'm out.